Let's make it a good day.
Today on The Jason Show, the glitz, the glamour, the kitties. It's a Met Gala roundup in the hot dish. Then, the moments before the studio cameras start rolling. The best of The Jason Show before the show, including...
I'm sorry, are you carrying a baby?
The moment the staff found out Kendall was pregnant. And it's my latest best thing ever, a second go-around for a shocking true story. The Jason Show starts right now. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day.
You're a tiger.
Give it up for Debbie Gibson, everyone.
We do it our own way.
Yes!
I'm gonna start crying and laughing so hard.
I did not do that. Melissa.
We are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Jason Show. Hi, everybody. Hello. Howdy. What you doing? Welcome to the show. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to The Jason Show. I'm Jace. Audience, please say hello to my sidekick sister, the one and only Kendall Mark, everyone.
Mark,
How you doing?
I'm doing dandy this morning. How are
ya?
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned
You're pregnant,
something.
I heard from that promo.
Yeah, weird. It's
Shocking.
shocking. I know. Someone just fainted.
Yeah, coming up a little later, as the T said, you guys, the audience found out on Friday, but you told us
Weeks ago.
Weeks
Around the
ago.
snowstorm, so in like end of February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, you know, photographer Eric, sometimes we call it rolling, sometimes records our pre-show meeting at 9 a.m. Luckily, he was recording that day, so you'll get to see,
I mean, I did notice Eric was in the room, and I was like, oh, that seems like good timing.
to announce it.
To say something.
Well, and we get so many great conversations out of that meeting, other than just the planning of the show and the specifics of the episode. Topics that we end up, segments that we end up doing on this show sometimes start in those goofy conversations, because it really is, I've said this a lot, that meeting is 10% talking about the show and 90% making fun of each other. And that's really what it is. Or conversations, and one of them was, we got on this hot topic, and I knew it was a hot topic, and that is, are you a couple
Oh.
that sits on the same side of a booth when you're at a restaurant?
Thank you, Eric.
The audience, I feel they're mainly booing. And I don't know if they're booing the subject or me. And I don't know. I think, and they're not laughing at that, so this is going to be a long hour.
I think they were booing you.
I think they were.
Yeah.
I think they were booing me. Okay. So you and...
Who done it?
What in the world was that?
It's like a fire alarm.
Should we evacuate? Ma'am, is that your ringtone?
No, it's not. I'm not sure what happened. I've never heard it before.
You don't know what's ringing on your body?
It's my phone, but I swear nothing like that has ever happened before. Oh my God, you're
What is it? Is that your phone?
It is. It says emergency, like an emergency number is calling me.
Well, answer it!
Well, I think I'm gonna
Come on, let's go!
I'll go with you.
I'm very nervous. Her phone's gonna. There's an emergency we don't know about. I don't know. Alien invasion? Or my
Little did we
goodness.
know.
That has never ever happened before.
That was quite the alarm.
Well, we had phones ring before, but never like the emergency alert thing. Yeah, that was great. Anyway,
Just the one, too.
Doesn't even
Nobody
matter what we were talking about. Now we'll save it for tomorrow.
Whatever.
That was
Think
great.
about it.
Think about it. Yeah. Anyway, let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish.
I don't know what that is.
God, I love that. That is fantastic.
I mean, I think it's odd no one else's phone had an
Well,
emergency sound. Like, are
no.
we all in the same location?
And we've had weird phone rings before. We had the woman whose ringtone was a dog. So the dog started barking in the middle of an interview with Ann Curry.
Yeah.
That was great.
Awkward.
Yeah, but this is great. I love it today. First up, the stars hit the red carpet last night at the Met Gala, and the outfits were as outrageous as you can imagine. So let's look at a few of them. Now, I'll follow you around. We put them all up on one screen here. Top left is Jared Leto as the cat. Who was it? Karl Lagerfeld's cat. Janelle Monáe is top right. And they kind of like unspooled her to reveal. Now watch this. Now,
Oh, yes.
Now why don't we have this at the beginning of our show? But anyway, they unspooled her, and then there's Janelle Monáe. Yeah.
Oh, Doja
Is the
Cat.
Doja Cat is in the bottom. She look at her face. She's a cat.
They made her a cat.
It reminded me, again, I'm a kid of the 80s. There's Usher. Usher's looking good. It reminded me of the Thundercats. Remember the Thundercat? Doja Cat was like Lionel. It was like, Thundercats roar. It's an old cartoon.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's all right. But
I'm thinking of like Cats
Yeah.
the musical. Like she looks
not
like a
Cats the
character.
musical. No, that's horrible.
Okay.
One
Well,
of the only
something-
musicals I've ever walked out of. Yeah.
I just think that that's so sad for you.
I know. No, I don't care.
Was it the licking of the paws that
It
got
was
you?
just every of the 9 lives I hated. I just wanted them all to be gone. Yeah,
All of
no.
them.
My favorite, we were talking about this on the radio show. The men really brought it this year. The men looked real good.
I would agree.
Capes were in. I don't know. I'm going to start wearing capes on
Capes
the show.
and shorts.
Yeah, capes. Pedro. Pedro, the Mandalorian, wore
Yep.
shorts.
And he looked good.
And he looks really good. He has really good legs. Now, see, that's what I would rock, because the only part of my body I like, I think I have decent legs. That's it.
He's a runner. He's a track
So, yeah, I do. I'm good.
Yeah, they're good legs.
It's the only part of my body I like. So I
Work
would
those
rock
gams.
shorts. Yeah, I have good gams. But
Good gams.
Yeah. The only one that I was just like, was Pete Davidson.
Oh yeah, he was very like, why?
But then again, why? I don't get.
Jared Leto was a little why too, though. At least he wasn't holding his own head this year. You remember that
Yeah.
year that he like the camp year? He held his own head.
That's the point of the Met Gala. I want them to be outrageous, because here's the thing. People aren't outrageous on the Oscars anymore, because
Right.
they're afraid knuckleheads like me are going to criticize them the next day on shows like this.
Right.
So people don't take chances, because look, I miss the days when Bjork showed up at the Oscars dressed up as a swan. You know what I mean?
Or the meat suit from.
Or the meat suit
Back in the
with
day with
Gaga.
Gaga. Mhm,
Or
that was
Gaga
good.
coming, she got hatched out of an egg like Mork. You know what I mean?
So good.
So people can roll their eyes, and I know it's like, oh, the rich people and the celebrities
But
just
it's
being obnoxious.
fun.
It's just fun. And right now in this world right now, we just need distractions just to make us smile and laugh a little bit. And that does it, you know.
I love. Did you see Lily Collins?
Lily Collins looked
Lily
good.
Collins, she's so good, from Emily in Paris, of course. She looked fabulous. And Sydney Sweeney.
She looked good. And one more. I know I'm thinking about this practically, but Lil Nas X was he was all in crystal.
Yeah.
They put crystals all, and all I thought about was, when that poor young man sits, the diamonds are going to cut his butt. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I kept thinking was. Yeah.
Gonna do some damage.
Just thinking. I was just thinking practically. I mean, that's what you think about when you're a 48-year-old. You know,
Yeah.
seriously.
Like, how are you gonna pay?
Yeah, that's right. Next in the dish, Ryan Murphy, who he knows who he will feature in season 2 of Monster. Monster is that umbrella show. Jeffrey Dahmer, remember, was the subject of season 1. People just called it Jeffrey Dahmer, but the show was actually called Monster Dahmer. Well, that was so successful that Netflix was like, give us some more. Season 2 is coming, and it's going to focus on the Menendez brothers. Yeah. Speaking of things we remember at my age, Lyle, if you did not, Lyle and Eric were convicted in '96 of murdering their parents. Their trials, along with the OJ trial, captivated the nation. Some say that trial and OJ really changed media. I hate that term, but really did change news gathering, and it changed soap operas, remember? So the Menendez trial and OJ, soap operas you could put a bookmark. Soap operas were huge in daytime. But then you had a real-life soap opera going on with the Menendez trial and OJ, and viewership dropped because why tune into fake drama when we had live?
real deal.
You were very young. You were like 6 at that
No, I
time.
know it. I watched the Law and Order true crime piece that they did with Edie Falco. That was
Yeah,
really
Aaron
good.
just
With
watched it.
Edie Falco, I loved that. So I would actually watch this. I didn't really want to watch the other one. I thought it
Dahmer?
was a little too dark for me.
Dahmer was dark, but it was so
Like body parts
well
eaten.
done. And I'll say it. I know it received, and I'm not going to criticize mourning families, families that are in mourning. I know that there was criticism about Dahmer, but I will just say again, as somebody, as a viewer, it humanized the victims. They weren't just names and graphics that you see on the news. That's what the show, it wasn't titillating to me. It was, wow, these people that he killed, they were people. They had families and lives and hopes and dreams. So maybe the Menendez show will do that.
Do the same thing.
Speaking of TV shows, a little bit later, I'm going to unveil my latest best thing ever, and it's a limited series about another shocking true life story. What is it? I'll tell you. But right now, we're going to take a break, go get some more coffee. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. Don't forget to get the tickets to our show. Be in the studio audience, go to eventbrite.com and search for The Jason Show. Aaron, you all right over there, girl?
She almost just went down like Hindenburg.
I know. Aaron was telling us about this show, Firefly Lane, on Netflix. People are loving. Aaron was getting all emotional. She started walking backwards and almost fell. So
Yeah.
you're good now? Okay.
Yeah, she good.
We already had one emergency. We already had one emergency in row 2. Yeah, exactly. Welcome back to the show, everyone. The LA Lakers are in the NBA playoffs, and Hollywood, as you can imagine, is very excited. I mean, seriously, Nicholson's back, for heaven's sake. But Jimmy Kimmel noticed something rather strange at halftime, and that, my friends, is our late night rewind.
Big night for Lakers fans, but the devastating loss came during one of those contests where they give a fan 30 seconds to make a shot. The fan in this case is 13 years old, and one thing I will say about him is he's a showman.
Cooper, we put 30 seconds on the clock. All you got to do is score 10 points. You ready? He's born ready. On your mark, get set, go, Cooper. Go for it. You're on the clock. Oh, Cooper's putting the ball down, hyping the crowd. Fans, make some noise for Cooper, putting on the show for us. Cooper, you've got 15 seconds to score those 10 points. Fans, make some noise for Cooper. He's got 8 seconds to make those 10 points. Cooper, you've got 5 seconds, 4 seconds.
Oh, Cooper, if only he'd had more time. That's such a Cooper thing to do, isn't it? Cooper did not win free tuition to the Lakers summer basketball camp this year, which is a shame because if there's any kid who needs to learn about basketball, it's Cooper, you know?
Okay. Okay.
In my head right now, I'm weighing, do I say what I'm really thinking and get emails, or do I just edit myself and just have a peaceful Tuesday evening? Yeah. You pretentious little...
Okay. I have a thought.
Are you going to defend him?
I have a thought. So I used to do that job. Like in game, I was the person telling you what you had to do.
Oh, I was like, what job did you have?
No, back in the day, but with the Wild. So you have to explain this stuff to people like really, really, really black and white clear to them because they get so nervous that they don't actually listen to you. So I don't know if anyone explained to him what he had to do, like really processed it. I don't know. If I was her, I would have been like, Cooper, pick up the ball, you moron.
Kendall, I appreciate what a kind soul you are.
Yeah.
But you're so wrong. That kid.
He's 13.
No. That kid, you're wrong in the fact that that woman explained it to that kid.
He was
And that
nervous.
kid decided to be a little arrogant and it backfired on him.
I don't know if he just thought he had 30 seconds and then he could shoot. I don't. I'm so sorry.
He did it. Thank you. Who said it? He did it to himself. Thank you, back row. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, kid.
But I'm done. I don't want to pile on a kid because I like kids on a
You
case.
can email him at Jason.
Stop it. Yeah. I like kids on a case-by-case basis. That's right. Yeah. I like my nieces and nephews. They're great.
That's it.
That's right. Next in the dish, all those late night clips that we show you, like our late night rewind, that could be the last one for a while because production in Hollywood, while we were all sleeping, production in Hollywood came to a screeching halt because now there's a writer's strike that began at midnight. Seth Meyers told viewers to be ready for some reruns if the deal wasn't reached, and it wasn't reached. Look.
I love writing. I love writing for TV. I love writing this show. I love that we get to come in with an idea for what we want to do every day, and we get to work on it all afternoon, and then I have the pleasure of coming out here and saying those words to you. No one is entitled to a job in show business, but for those people who have a job in show business, they are entitled to fair compensation. They are entitled to make a living. I think it's a very reasonable demand that is being set out by the Guild, and I support those demands. But I also believe that everybody at the table right now, be it from the writer's side or the studio side, knows that the future of this business is dependent on storytellers. And so I'm optimistic and hopeful that because everyone at the table believes that, they're going to hammer out a deal and that I can be here with you tomorrow because I promise there's no place in the world that I would rather be.
Well, so you're probably wondering, oh, that's great. You know, how does this affect you? Well, if the deal, now they're on strike, if a deal isn't reached, and some say it could stretch into the summer, it could affect the fall TV season. The writers are seeking, as Seth, you hinted there, better wages and data transparency. Because the last writer strike was in 07-08. That one lasted for 100 days. And as you can imagine, that was 15 years ago. TV, the TV business, media is very different. There wasn't the proliferation of streaming, which brings in a whole new other set of dynamics and framework. How are people compensated fairly for streaming? When things are put out on streaming forever, you know, how do you compensate the actors fairly? How do you compensate the people that wrote the words that the actors say? It is legitimate. And, you know, people think, and rightfully so, the people that are the most conspicuous that are put in front of your face are the people that usually make the most money. But there are the crews, there's this perception that everybody in Hollywood is living in Bel Air, and that's just not the case.
Right.
There are writers that are not making the money that they should, because it all starts with the written word with these movies and TV shows. And I hope the studios, Discovery, our studio, Disney, I hope they all realize that, because we could be in a land of hurt. All of these networks have shows backlogged, so we're not going to see anything immediately. But if this stretches on to summer, we could be sitting in winter and all that we could be watching is Survivor
Right.
and reality shows and Joe Millionaire. And you know what I mean?
Right.
So it will affect you if this continues.
It's a big deal. The Writers Guild put out that since the advent of big Netflix, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus, all the streaming services, the median wage for producers and writers has gone down 23%. When you account for inflation, that's massive. In any industry, if your median wage went down that much, you'd also be like, I'm high, help me out. So it makes sense.
It does. Next in the dish, the primetime. Speaking of TV, this is another thing that happened that is kind of like, I think, a bellwether of where we're going. The primetime show, now follow me here. It's on Fox called 911. Maybe a lot of you watch it with, Angela Bassett. It's going to be back for a 7th season. But if you're looking for it, it won't be on Fox. It'll be on a different network. Fox canceled 911 because they no longer owned the series, thanks to, remember, 20th Century Fox was sold to Disney. Disney produces that show. So if they keep choosing to air the show, they would have to pay a licensing fee to Mickey. Get it? Fox has to pay Mickey Mouse for the rights to the show. And that means the top-rated drama is going to move to ABC in the fall because ABC is owned by Mickey Mouse. Now, but this is what makes it This is what makes it weird and probably confusing for the consumer like you, who's not a TV nerd like me. Fox is still going to run the spinoff, 911 Lone Star. The reason is that one has a lower licensing fee because it's a newer show. But this is, we're telling you this story not to confuse you, but this is what's going to happen now. You know, Disney owns ABC. You're going to see a lot more Disney-owned stuff probably on ABC because studios don't want to pay licensing fees to other companies. That is why you aren't seeing shows like the Oprah Winfrey Show anymore and huge shows like that in daytime because the economics don't work. I mean, stations that run, I always use Oprah as an example because it was very expensive, but Ellen too in more recent times, networks, the stations all across the country have to pay a huge licensing fee to run those shows when they can just produce shows in-house.
Right.
So it just makes more economic sense. So
Way cheaper.
way cheaper. That's TV changing, I'm telling you. So next year, look for 9/11 on ABC. Next, and then the other one on Fox. Next on the dish. Oh, bravo. The new season of Roni is coming this summer, The Real Housewives of New York. And Bravo, you know, we've been waiting for it forever. It went off the air because the last season was horrendous. And then they retooled it. And they're like, oh, we're going to get a whole new cast. And we've been waiting forever and 14 days. So yesterday, Bravo was like, we're going to give you a teaser of the new season with all whole new ladies. And this is what they gave us. First off, I don't like mouth noises, so the chomping of the apple off camera is disgusting. Number two, that's what you're gonna give us? You can't give us a shot of all the women? Give us a little tease? I get that it's a tease. Believe me, I know it's called a teaser for a reason, but give us something. That is ridiculous.
I want to know who bit the apple.
It was an underpaid production assistant. Yeah, that's who bit the apple. Yeah.
They're on strike.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was Lenny, the Bravo intern. That's who bit it. Yeah, trust me.
So
Season
lame.
14 will, as you saw, debut in July. It's going to have a whole new cast. It won't have Luann and Bethany and Sonia and the ones we really want. Yeah.
so if this gets you excited,
I know.
you won't have anyone you know, plus all you get is an apple.
Exactly.
Woo!
Next on the dish, Saturday Night Live has been a weekend staple on NBC and in America since October 11th, 1975. Can you believe that? And it's that pivotal night, that story could be heading to the big screen. According to Deadline, Jason Reitman will direct an original screenplay about the opening night of SNL back in '75. Deadline says it's going to take viewers behind the scenes in the moments leading up to the famous words, live from New York, it's Saturday night, which, by the way, if you don't know, that was actually the original name of the show was called NBC Saturday Night. The screenplay will be based on extensive interviews conducted by Jace and his co-writer Gil Keenan. Those two are finishing up their second Ghostbusters movie. And if you don't know, Jason is the son of Ivan Reitman, the famous director. But you talk about moments in TV. I was saying this to you off air. This is one that I find so fascinating because we can't, all of us probably in this room, we don't really, we think of TV and you think of SNL. It's hard to think of TV without SNL. Mm-hmm. It is going to be so fascinating to go back to that night, the nerves. Mm-hmm. Other than Johnny Carson in Late Night and the Carol Burnett Show, you had really never seen anything like SNL before that moment. And that cast, Gilda Radner, Chevy, I mean, it's just...
They were all in the opening season? I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Jane Curtin, Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner, Belushi, Lorraine Newman, Garrett Morris. No, Eddie Murphy came later. Eddie was in the refurb years, but yeah, I can't wait for that. We're gonna take a break. We have so much more ahead. Go get some more coffee. Back after this.
Coming up, see what happens when the staff learned Kendall is pregnant. It's the best of the Jason Show before the show. And a new limited series is my latest best thing ever. I'll tell you all about it when we return.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the show that you can really only watch on our Facebook page, and it happens about 45 minutes, for about 45 minutes each day before this show. We call it the Jason Show Before the Show. And you really never know, as I said at the top of the broadcast, you never really know what's going to happen because these meetings are not for the sensitive. They really are not.
Nope.
All we do is sit around and make fun of each other because we love each other and we're allowed to. So you all learned on Friday that my sister from another mister was pregnant last Friday, but she actually told us her work family several weeks ago in that pre-show meeting, and we had no idea. It's time again for the best of the Before the Show show.
Wait a minute. I'm rolling now. You're like my mom. My mom will not eat a store-bought cookie.
Really?
She's like, homemade are better.
Oh no, I'll eat them. I'm just being jokingly, and she can't rebel against me because I was nice to her today. So I brought her coffee. So.
Well, I mean, I don't think you had a choice.
Here.
He was in the office, and all of a sudden you hear this voice from like 30 feet away. Are you going to Starbucks?
Excuse me.
And then he chased me down the hallway.
I am exhausted.
He worked a third job yesterday.
I'm sorry. Are you carrying a baby?
What?
Oh, you totally guessed it like a month ago.
We all knew. Are you pregnant?
Yes!
Yay!
I am!
Congratulations.
Thanks! I found out like officially yesterday. We did all the things.
Okay, we're not gonna jinx anything?
Well, no, like we went in. Ted, I know you've known for like 3 weeks. I know.
Well, we've all known, but I mean, yeah.
We've been gossiping.
Why do you think I keep asking you for cocktails?
I told you right now, I was like, I don't know.
He goes, Kendall, you want this vodka over here? He seriously said that to me.
So
We all knew
I
it.
gotta
Oh,
eventually
God,
talk
those-
to Kate.
How many times have we
You
said
would leave
it?
the room and we'd go,
He was convinced.
I was
No!
Oh my God! Okay, first of all, you drink ginger ale
I
on
feel like I was
day.
gonna throw up all the time. I do
Yes,
throw up
that
all
was
the
the day
time.
I
was the
knew.
day.
That day you
Oh,
were sick.
God, I
And
felt
Leslie
so
Miller
sick.
noticed, my mother-in-law noticed. Oh, everyone was noticing that you were not participating in things that you normally participate in.
I had to tell Ted, like, I was only like 5 weeks in. and
You knew?
Ted
Yeah, I had to
knew.
play it. He didn't say anything.
I know he didn't, because I told him last
told
time,
him?
too.
Why?
Thank you, Leo.
She had to explain how the baby got in there.
To Theodore.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees, the moon up above, and a thing called love.
Wow, Theodore.
I told Ted,
He's like a vault.
Oh, I am now going to tell you all my dark secrets.
I don't
because we were
I
gonna
know,
do
you-
that hot yoga shoot, and I couldn't do it. Plus, there was a ski jumping shoot that I was like, I can't do that. Plus, there's this snowmobiling shoot tomorrow that I
no.
can't do that. So I was like, hi, I'm pregnant. You have to go on these shoots by yourself. Ted was like, okay.
When we shut the door, it gets hot, super hot, like 125 degrees. This is in case things go terribly wrong.
And then we'll go to the jump, okay? I'm not so sure Ted's ready for this.
Kendall was not joking.
I'm not joking.
She is doing dry January. So Ted's gonna drink it.
Are you drinking it out of a
Is
coffee
he
cup?
drinking it out of a coffee cup? Ted's
Ted?
leaving the control room right
Ted
now.
already drank?
I was like, I don't think she can do it because she's doing dry January.
Oh, that's right. Well, you didn't, right?
No.
Okay.
And so Ted texted me, he's like, warning. Da, 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 da. I told him you're doing dry
That's funny.
January.
She would never do dry
Oh
January.
my God. So yes, Ted is known for a long time. Congratulations.
Did you know I was taunting you?
Yes, I was like, I don't know how he knows, but he definitely knows.
I kept like yesterday. I said, "You want to go for cocktails after the show today?"
And I was like, it's Monday. He's like, every day is a good day for a cocktail.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh,
He doesn't drink during the week.
didn't you know?
You can't get mad. You said it.
That's our family. We do it every day. I know the joke. We have several inside jokes, but the one joke is I always go, I don't drink during the week. I never have cocktails, and then everyone
I don't drink
laughs.
during the week.
But yeah, it was funny, and I know some of you, we've been reading the comments. Some of you noticed too what we noticed. I wasn't kidding in that package. The minute I knew, because physically I didn't really notice anything.
No, you can't tell for a while.
No,
with
you
your
can't.
First pregnancy.
I noticed that first Leslie Miller, because what you guys don't know is Kendall's sometimes off, like right over here, hovering during Leslie Miller wine segments. So when you weren't hovering and you weren't coming over to try the wine in the commercial break, I thought, I think she's pregnant.
That's odd.
And then when I asked you to go out and you go, no, and you came up with something lame. I'm like, no, she'd go out if she could.
Yeah,
So,
no. And then someone had brought in some like drinks to try on a different show. And Jason's like, oh, there's an extra bottle of vodka. Do you want some? I was like, sure, I'll take it home. He's like, no, have some right now. And I looked at Jeff and I'm like, our executive producer's right here. I can't drink on the job. And Jeff's like, I could look the other way. I'm like, oh my God, how do you people know?
Oh, we all knew.
Because they all knew I wouldn't. I was like,
it was
gotta
great.
go. Gotta go.
But we didn't know that. I mean, you
That
surprised
day I was
us
gonna
that
say
day.
something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, the Jason Show Before the Show, most weekdays, unless we run late, around 9:15 on the Jason Show Facebook page. It's live every day. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. Don't forget to visit our swag shop. Go to our Facebook page. You'll see the link right there. Well, a new show on HBO Max tells the story of a shocking real crime from the 80s, and it's a story many people are familiar with. And today, I'm naming that limited series my latest best thing ever. This is our version of Oprah's favorite things. Well, the show is called Love and Death, and it stars Elizabeth Olsen as a Texas housewife accused of murder. Here's a little bit of the trailer, and we'll talk about it.
You always want more. You do, Candy. Whatever you have, you always want more.
Yes, I do. And I'm not going to apologize for it. It is human nature to take risks, to go for something with a little thrill at the risk of falling.
You okay?
I'm fine.
You sure?
Would you be interested in having an affair?
Olsen plays Candy Montgomery, who is accused of killing the wife of that man, the man right there in the roller coaster, of the wife of the man that she is having an affair with. Now, if this is familiar, well, first, it was a true story. So if you're alive in the late 70s and early 80s, this was scandalous back in the day. And if it's familiar, even if you weren't alive back then, that's because last year, and I think we talked about this, Jessica Biel played the same character in a Hulu series about this called Candy. So this, now look at this. There's Jessica as the character Elizabeth Olsen plays. Well, get this. The producers of Love and Death found out about this show 2 months into filming their show, because the story, it's not like you're buying the book rights. This story's in the public domain, so that's how that happens. Elizabeth said that Jessica Biel actually reached out to her, and both agreed that it wasn't a competition because both shows are filming at the same time, and they would take different takes on the character of Candy. This is produced by David E. Kelly, who gave us Ally McBeal. More recently, you saw in the titles there, Big Little Lies, and You Can Tell. I liked Candy. I didn't capital L love it. This, I love.
Really?
This is, I don't know. We were trying to decide last night. I'm like, I got to talk about this tomorrow. I got to try to put my finger on what makes this better than Candy on Hulu. And I think it's the pacing of it, and I think it's the layers that this show has that Candy really didn't have. And what I mean by that is, it really examines, like, you see affairs happen on soap operas,
right,
and maybe in real life,
Your Neighbor's House,
or on reality shows, but how does it start?
Right.
How do you go from, oh, that person's hot, to you are renting a room at the La Quinta, and you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? How?
Comfy beds.
I don't know why I picked the poor La Quinta, but anyway, but how does that happen? And they examine that. The first episode, you really see Candy, and look, the woman is accused of killing the woman with an axe. So it's not like she's a sympathetic character, but in the first episode, you see where she is a housewife that is looking for more. And you can see how the affair could happen. And then the methodical way that they go about the affair, I don't want to give anything away, but let's just say there are Post-it notes, basically. There's a board. They plan this affair out, and that was really never covered in the series. My point in all this is, it is so multi-layered that you really never know who you're kind of not rooting for, but there's really, everybody's kind of a gray character. And, well, until we get to the murder. But anyway, it's a limited series. I think you're going to like it. The first 3 episodes are streaming right now on HBO Max. While it's still HBO Max, it'll be Max in like 3 weeks. But anyway, Love and Death is my latest best thing ever. Yeah. You might like it.
I liked Candy. One question is, I didn't love the character of the woman who she axe murders. I didn't really sympathize with her very much. She wasn't very likable. Is that different in this version?
Yeah, I mean,
she's a lot more likable.
You see the layers of both of these women in this small community. And Melanie Lindsay played it in that one. In this one, it's played by Lily Rabe from American Horror Story. Yeah, you see both of these women and their struggles. I mean, and the struggles of just every day with family and kids and husbands and church, and it's good. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody. Yeah, I like Betty more in this. Welcome back. There's another new show. See, our part of our job is to tell you what's good to watch. There's a new show trending on Netflix that's a part personal finance and part reality TV disaster. It's called How to Get Rich, and it follows couples dealing with money issues. Let's take a look at the clip, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
I'm Ramit Sethi. I'm a New York Times bestselling author, and I teach people how to live their rich life.
I don't know how to start.
My philosophy is to spend extravagantly on the things you love, but cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't.
Oh, wait, hold on now. I never really learned about money. I'm paying for it now.
You can't get a rich life without taking control of your money. You have a checking account for your dog and not a retirement account.
You don't need to call me out like that, even though that's why you're here.
For the record, Dexter, Mr. Big do not have bank accounts. I just want to make that, my dogs do not, Not yet. Going to U.S. Bank after this. The show features a popular finance expert, as you saw there, who doubles as a relationship coach. And you know that when it comes to hot mess reality shows, we only turn to one person to see if they're crap. That means it's time for 42% of America Loves Ted. And our producer, show producer Ted Johnson, joins us from the reality show headquarters. Hi, Ted.
Good morning.
We're still shocked that you were able to keep Kendall's secret for that long. I just want to.
And I gotta admit, I was the worst at keeping secrets in like high school, college. You told me something, it was out my mouth in like 5 seconds.
Yep.
So, hey, props to me.
Props to you, Ted. Way to go, Theodore. Okay, we saw a little bit there, Ted. Fill in the gaps there. How does this show work?
So he goes to visit couples who, you know, maybe the power dynamic is different in a relationship. You got one person who makes all the money and then one person who doesn't make all the money. Hi, Brad, turn the lights off. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
What just happened? You got real bright there for a second.
Well, I figured something was going to happen when I saw this on the seat. Brad's doing some work in here.
What is happening in our control room? Maybe that's why that woman's phone went off in the second row at the top of that's the emergency.
It could be.
Okay.
So anyways, these people are given 6 weeks. He basically, writes down their financial situation, gives them a plan, and in 6 weeks we kind of figure out if they're back on the right track or not. And it is, if you think about when people fight about or talk about money, it's usually when they're fighting. And that's like the relationships around money are just like it's so interesting. This show is like crack to me. I was just like, next.
Is that,
next,
I mean,
next. That's
I
like
don't
crack.
think you do it like that,
Is
but
this
I
crack?
don't know. I don't.
Cereal?
It looks like you're eating a bowl of Lucky Charms, but I don't, yeah. But anyway, what is up with this episode today? I just don't. Anyway, Theodore, who is this show for? Like, what? I mean, you, but who is this for?
If you like people watching, and you like watching people fight in public, I mean, this show is for you. And hey, if you want financial tips, hey, it can also help you with your financial life too. But really, we just want to watch people live their disastrous life.
Okay. But okay, let's give folks, we're a goofy show, but let's help them a little bit. What is a common mistake that guy says a lot of couples make? A common money mistake.
Right. So people just kind of, like if they're in debt or they have like a lot of bills, well, first of all, they don't know how much they make and how much they spend every month. That's like a common theme. And a lot of people, like he went into this one guy's house and he's like, what's that stack of envelopes that you haven't opened? And the guy was like, oh, those are bills. And he's like, we need to open those right now. So it's just like people turning a blind eye and just being like, it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. And then he's like, no, it does.
And then are they all kind of cash strapped, or are they rich but just are poor money managers?
So then there was this one couple who she made like $500,000 a year. And the husband was the stay-at-home dad. And she did not allow him any money decision, any access to any. So he really couldn't go, like he didn't have any credit card. He couldn't go out to eat. He couldn't do anything without her permission. And they were just sort of working through that kind of thing.
I am uncomfortable with that.
But
really?
hey, they get on the right track.
Okay.
It's touching.
Ted, go play with that drill, okay? We'll see you later. Ted Johnson, everyone. How to Get Rich is on Netflix. We're going to take a break. Wrapping things up when we come back. Back in a moment. What is Brad doing? Welcome back. Time for the world's shortest segment. A woman with kidney stones finds an unusual remedy for her pain. Disney World. After reading articles about people who passed kidney stones after reading the ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Magic Kingdom, she decided to try it out. She went on Big Thunder twice, then flew back home. And just like that, her kidney stone passed the next day. A Michigan State study found the roller coaster was nearly 70% effective in helping to pass kidney stones, mainly because of the sideways turns which shift the stomach. As someone that has been on that ride hundreds of times, I believe this. Yeah. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. Today, a real-life scare for a school principal in West Virginia. He was unlocking a dumpster outside the elementary school yesterday when a bear pops out. Look at this video. Oh my goodness! Nope. No. The principal and another school employee ran to safety. Luckily, the bear ran in the opposite direction. Are you kidding me? I am not joking. I would have peed. Right there, I just
A
would.
little pee, a little puddle,
Right? A little? No.
big puddle.
Tomorrow, Christopher Straub will do some kitchen gardening. He's making art out of food scraps. What? Anyway, that's tomorrow. Go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for watching.